A little boy lay awake as the storm howled outside, snow lashing against the windows like icy fists. Suddenly, he heard tiny whimpers at his doorstep. Peeking through the curtain, he saw 4 puppies, shivering and trembling, barely able to move. Without hesitation, he wrapped them in blankets, held them close, and whispered promises of safety. He had no idea that by morning his world would change completely. He couldn't believe that police cars would be parked at his doorstep. He was shocked. He didn't know why they were there. But what happened next would leave everyone stunned. Before we dive in, make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell so you don't miss this incredible story of courage, puppies, and heroism. Inside a small house at the very end of Maplewood Crescent, 8-year-old Aaron Porter lay awake. His forehead pressed to the cold glass of the window, his breath fogging the pain. Outside, the storm raged, rattling the window frame like a wild animal trying to get in. He pulled his thin blanket tighter around his shoulders. Please don't break," he whispered almost to himself. Please be okay." Aaron had never truly feared storms. What frightened him was the silence that often followed, the emptiness of the long night when his parents were working their late shifts at the hospital, leaving him alone with only the clock ticking, the faint hum of the heater, and the shadows that moved along the walls. He had learned to keep himself company, to talk to his toys, to invent stories in his mind, anything to fill the hours. But tonight something was different. Amid the wailing of the wind, he heard another sound, soft, almost imperceptible. Whimper, whimper, whine. Aaron froze. His heart thumped violently in his chest. He pressed his ear to the window, straining. Nothing. Then again, whimper, scratch, tiny paw taps against the porch. Outside, right at the front door. Aaron's stomach lurched. No, not now. Not in this storm, he whispered. He hurried to the door, unlocked the chain, and cracked it open. The cold hit him like a wall, icy snowflakes stinging his face and whipping through his hair. His pajamas were soaked almost instantly by the swirling snow. Through the blinding curtain of white, he saw them. 4 tiny shapes huddled together on the porch, barely moving. 4 border collie puppies, no older than a few months, trembling violently. Their fur was matted with frost, their little paws stiff and frozen, their wide, terrified eyes locked onto him as though begging for help. Oh my gosh," Aaron whispered, stepping out into the storm. One puppy tried to stand and collapsed. Another whimpered, dragging itself through the icy snow. Aaron's chest tightened. "They're alone," he murmured. "You're all alone." The wind screamed, but Aaron barely noticed. He acted instinctively. He scooped up the 4 puppies, holding them close. Their icy little bodies pressed against his chest as they whimpered against him. He stumbled backward into the house and slammed the door, cutting off the wind's fury. Inside, the warmth enveloped them. The puppies cried louder at first, shivering violently. Shh, it's okay," Aaron whispered. "I've got you. You're safe now, I promise." He grabbed thick blankets from the couch, wrapping each puppy individually. He pressed them to his chest so they could absorb his body heat. The lights flickered and went out. The house fell into darkness. Aaron didn't move. He didn't even flinch. He sat on the floor with the puppies wrapped around him. Their soft, desperate breaths puffed against his shirt. Their tiny cries dug into his heart like needles. He grabbed a flashlight and turned it on, placing it beside him. The pale cone of light illuminated their trembling little faces. The smallest puppy was barely responsive. "No, don't give up," Aaron whispered, rubbing its cold paws. He remembered how his mother had comforted him during fevers. Warm hands, gentle voice, slow breathing. He mimicked her. Pressing the tiny pup to his chest, he rubbed it in slow circles. "Stay with me. I'm right here. You can do this." The puppy blinked, weakly at first, then nestled into his arms. Relief flooded him, but he did not relax. He had to keep them alive. Hours passed. The storm battered the roof and walls, relentless. Aaron stayed by their side, spoon-feeding them warm milk, drying their fur with a hairdryer once the generator kicked in, and whispering stories to keep himself awake. He sang the lullabies his mother had sung to him, hoping to soothe them with the gentle rhythm. By 4 a.m., the puppies had stopped shaking. They trusted him now. One crawled onto his lap, another rested its head on his foot, and the remaining two nestled against his side, as if he were the only safe place in the world. "You made it. I'm so proud of you," Aaron whispered, smiling despite his exhaustion. The storm finally began to calm around 7 a.m. Snow had slowed to a gentle fall, covering the world in pristine white. Aaron rubbed his eyes, stretched, and approached the window. Then, flash, flash, flash! Blue and red lights cut through the frost. Sirens wailed. 3 police cars screeched to a stop outside. Doors slammed, boots crunched in the snow. A voice crackled through a megaphone. "This is Maplewood Police Department. Everyone stay inside." Aaron's stomach dropped. What had he done? The puppies whimpered. He grabbed them, hiding them under blankets behind the couch. "Stay quiet, please. Don't make a sound." A pounding came at the door. "Open up! This is urgent!" Aaron's father unlocked the door. 4 officers stepped inside, snow still on their uniforms. One held a photo. Another surveyed the room. "Aaron Porter?" the tallest asked. He nodded. "We need to ask, did any animals come to your house during the storm?" "Yes," he whispered. The officer's face softened slightly. "Son, those puppies, they weren't just lost. They were part of a special program. They were being transported from a training center, intended to become therapy dogs for children who have experienced trauma. The transport van crashed in the storm, and the puppies escaped. We've been searching all night." Aaron's jaw dropped. The tiniest puppy whimpered. The officers exchanged glances. "You saved them," one murmured. Aaron lifted the blankets. 4 tiny faces, warm and alive, looked back. "They've bonded with you," the lead officer said. "Deeply. Therapy dogs remember the person who saved them." Aaron felt warmth bloom in his chest, power, purpose, hope. The officers gently carried the puppies away. But the smallest cried out. Aaron ran after them. "I'll see you again. I promise I won't forget you." The lead officer smiled. "That's a promise. They'll want to see you again." Weeks passed. Aaron kept the blanket they slept on, prayed for their safety, and watched the mailbox daily. Then one afternoon a van pulled up. The same officer stepped out with the 4 puppies, healthy, energetic, and tail wagging. They ran straight to him. Aaron fell to his knees as they jumped, licking his face, whining, and wagging their tails wildly. "You came back. You actually came back." He laughed through tears. The officer knelt. "Aaron, the rescue program has a request. They want you to help train them. You've already given them courage, trust, and love. Now you can teach them to share it with others." Aaron's eyes widened. "Me? But I'm just a kid." "You're the right kid," the officer said. "Heroes come in all sizes." From that day on, Aaron became the central figure in the lives of 4 remarkable puppies. He trained them, taught them to comfort, protect, and respond to fear and sadness. Blaze, Luna, Scout, and Rookie grew into intelligent, compassionate dogs who would go on to heal countless children, and beyond that, help bring justice. Months later, during one training exercise at the community center, the puppy's keen instincts detected a hidden stash of stolen items. Blaze barked sharply. Scout circled the crates. Luna sat alert with her ears raised, and Rookie pawed at the suspicious package. Their precise signals led officers to apprehend a small gang of thieves who had been preying on the neighborhood. Aaron watched in awe as the dogs he had saved helped stop real criminals. But their true mission was even more powerful. The puppies became therapy dogs, visiting hospitals, schools, and children's shelters. They provided comfort to kids who had experienced loss, trauma, or fear. One by one, children began to smile, laugh, and open up, all because of the bond Aaron had nurtured in them that snowy night. He watched as Blaze licked a frightened child's hand. Luna gently nudged a small boy into hugging her. Scout lay calmly next to a crying girl, and Rookie wagged his tail, bringing warmth and joy to every room. Every letter, drawing, or video from the program reminded Aaron that a single act of kindness on a snowy night could ripple out to touch hundreds of lives. The boy who once felt invisible had become a hero, not for fame, but for heart. Because sometimes heroes don't wear capes. They wear pajamas. They open doors. They save lives. They teach courage. They heal hearts. And in Aaron's heart, he knew that night, that storm, and those trembling puppies, they had changed everything. They had not only survived the storm, they had learned to protect, comfort, and even bring justice. The puppies grew. They graduated from the program with honors, their names whispered in every hospital wing, every school hallway, every shelter where children needed hope. And every time Aaron walked into a room, Blaze, Luna, Scout, and Rookie ran to him, tails wagging, eyes shining with love and recognition. He realized that courage wasn't always loud. Sometimes it was quiet. Sometimes it was the soft touch of a small hand on a shivering body. Sometimes it was letting someone, even tiny creatures, know they were safe. And sometimes it was a boy in pajamas, facing a storm to give 4 little puppies a chance to change the world. The snow had melted months ago, but the memory of that night stayed alive, etched in Aaron's heart, and in the hearts of every child those puppies touched. Because heroes, big or small, always leave their mark. And on that quiet street in Maplewood Crescent, in the warmth of a house once filled with fear and loneliness, Aaron smiled. He had saved 4 lives, and in turn, they had saved countless others. The storm had come roaring, but from it emerged courage, compassion, and heroes in fur and pajamas. Remember, heroes come in all sizes, and courage can start with the smallest act of kindness. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a story of bravery, compassion, and amazing animals. And share this with someone who needs a reminder that even the tiniest heroes can change the world.